Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Pilgrim Piper. Friend Pat here. Ah, enjoying a dark roast blend named Midnight Vigils, which is made by the Carmelite monks in the beautiful mountains of Waititi, Wyoming. No, I haven't actually been there, but I've looked at their YouTube videos, and it's just a beautiful area where they are. So anyways, you noticed that I'm drinking it out of my commemorative Remember Lepanto coffee mug. This day in history, 1571, is one of the most important naval battles which ever took place, and ended all on the same day. I didn't realize that when I mentioned it a couple days ago. And I'd like to get into a little bit of why it's important. And it's a little bit strange why it isn't as well known as I think it should be, and as many others think it should be. And disclaimer time, I am not a theologian, I am not a historian, I am not a very well educated man. I have no college degrees, I have no pedigrees. Does that fit? But anyways, I'm just a guy who loves to read and tries his best every day to live according to the faith that was handed to me. So, also, I'm going to enjoy some of this Boswell's chocolate cream in one of my Boswell briars. Typically, I prefer the aromatics in my corn cobs, but I didn't have a cob that was cleaned and ready, and so I'm going to use this one. See how it goes. And I don't ordinarily drink coffee when I'm smoking a pipe. I typically prefer bourbon, but a little too early. I don't think the monks would approve of me drinking a little bit of bourbon at 20 minutes to 8. So thank you for joining me. And again, I'd like to talk a little bit about the connection between Notre Dame, Our Lady, and the that battle. And so talking about the rosary for a second, I have one in my hand right here. Kind of hard to see. But it is, in the belief of many people, to be a weapon in the fight against spiritual warfare. And it's not just intended to be a Catholic thing. Any of the Protestant denominations can certainly meditate on the rosary. And I want to clear up Our Lady's name. She is the most important woman in the Bible, hands down. And also probably the most misunderstood woman in the Bible. And I think that misunderstanding has been perpetuated by Satan. If you remember right, in the book of Genesis, the woman and her seed will crush the head of the serpent. And whenever you see a statue of Mary, which by the way is only as a memorial, a remembrance, there's no worship given to the statue, and there's actually no worship given to Mary. But God thought enough of her to honor her by conceiving his only son. And that's something no other woman in history can lay claim to. And so we believe Mary plays a significant role in our salvation. And so we praise her and honor her. In no way is she placed above the Almighty. In no way does she detract from the glory of what Jesus freely done for all of us. The Hail Mary is an intercessory prayer. So now how does it tie in to Lepanto? So the apostles went out spreading the gospel. And if you liked it, agreed with it, however you want to say it, you were baptized into the faith. But no one forced you or conquered you into doing so, right? It's an act of free will. And you choose. If you don't, if you reject it, they move on to the next. No one is made to accept it, right? In contrast to the Ottoman Empire, who were forcibly spreading their belief and conquering nations, and sometimes, if need be, against the will of the people. So the battle, Lepanto was the port city in Greece, the southern tip of Greece, I believe it was, right on the Gulf of Patras. And Lepanto was their base of operations, I guess you could say, of the Ottomans. And today it is, I believe, Nafpaktis is what it is today currently. I may be saying that wrong. And so the Pope Pius V felt as though they were going to make a real attempt to take over the Holy See, Vatican City in Rome. And so he began building a opposition, I guess. And so it was called the Holy League, and it was made up of papal states, a lot of people from Spain, and they chose a young man named Don John of Austria, who was going to lead the Holy League in this this battle. And so on the ship, which by the way, all these ships were all rowed. And that's the last naval battle in history that took place with rowed ships. The Holy League had obviously volunteers. They had priests with them because they were still offering mass. And they had priests there who were hearing confessions, knowing that they're heading into battle. And so Don John, before they met the Ottomans in that Gulf, was given a pep speech, right? Pep talk. And he says, you know, while we're outnumbered in men, supplies, ships, we have something that they don't. And he took out his Holy Rosary. And they prayed the Rosary before they went into battle. Initially, the winds were against them. And some point in that day, the wind turned in their favor. They met the Ottomans head on in the Gulf. And they beat the Ottoman Empire. They stopped them. A great navy they had, the Ottomans. Great in numbers, equipment, and they were stopped. Some of the people who were oaring, who were rowing for the Ottomans, were Christian Catholics who were captured. Many of them were saved. Many people died on both sides of that battle. But nonetheless, it was victorious. And to this day, there has not been another significant threat to unseating Rome other than spiritual. So it is a spiritual battle. And we do believe that Our Lady helps us in all those battles. The battles of our daily lives. Right? Good news is we're told that the gates of hell will not prevail. Just by the word prevail lets us know there's a war, there's a fight. That's my best I can do right now off the top of my head. There are plenty of videos, plenty of writing about it online if you're interested in learning some more about it. G.K. Chesterton has also wrote a poem, an essay, whatever you would call it, regarding Lepanto. And I think that's well worth the read. If you're still with me, thank you. Or Ave Maria. Some good coffee. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to light up my pipe. I'm going to pray a rosary and offer a rosary. going to ask Mary's intercession and concentrate and pray and think, right? And hope. Don't ever let anyone take your hope from you. And don't ever give false hope. I'm going to conclude this one. Wow, 16 minutes. I would have never thought. Peaceful days to everyone. Orewames, I mean. Right there, the Star of Mary.